Hello and welcome to Everything's Fine, probably the podcast equivalent of finding out your bus is cancelled and then realising you've got a biscuit in your coat pocket. I'm Jim, I'm joined as ever by Shelley, and we're here to be your weekly antidote to the overwhelming sense that the news is trying to kill us. We're here to do what no one else in the media seems wanting to do, just say something nice. In fact, it was Say Something Nice Day this week, so we're legally obligated to be kind. Even to Donald. Well, okay, no, maybe not to Donald. Anyway, coming up this week, we've got a bionic glove designed by a student to aid stroke rehabilitation. Finally, a gadget that helps people instead of just ordering more gadgets. The EU has ratified a treaty to protect the high seas. That's great news for fish, dolphins, and probably at least one emotionally overwhelmed octopus. Scotland proposes a bill to criminalise ecocide, making it illegal to destroy the environment, which feels both revolutionary and about 50 years overdue. A woman's gone viral for just sharing good news on the internet. Why didn't I do that instead of messing around with this bloody podcast? Anyway, and there was a phone party for dogs. Yes, that's a real thing. Yes, it's adorable. And no, you can't go. It's for dogs. And of course, we'll check in on the University of Bath, where innovation meets confusion in the most delightful ways. So, brew a cuppa, take a deep breath, and let's find out why, despite everything, everything's fine. Probably. Welcome, Shelley.
Hello, hi.
How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. I'm better now. I thought I'd lost one of my cats last night. Well, I hadn't though. I just shut him out, but but I
Is
just
you right about that?
he's come back now. He was waiting at the back door when I got home from work, and he was very pleased to see me. I got lots of leaps, like cat wheelies when they leap up to meet your hand. And he's had 2 bowls of cat food and some dreamies, and he's now completely crashed out on the bed.
That's fine. I mean, but he's not holding a grudge for shutting you out or anything like that.
Well, it's kind of his fault because I was waiting for ages for him to come back last night, and I was really tired. So I was thinking, right, I'm just going to go to bed, and then I'll wake up again in a little bit and check if he's there. And I did once, but then I just crashed out. I was so tired, and then I thought, oh, hopefully he'll be back in the morning, and then he wasn't. So, but then he's been shut out all day in the rain. But the other thing is, though, he was suspiciously dry when he came home. I am starting to suspect that he has another home.
I wouldn't be the first cat, won't be the last. And yeah, I'm not sure that cats acknowledge the whole concept of their own fault. I don't
Yeah,
fault up.
yeah. I told him to go to his room and have a bloody good think about what he's done. And I let
Has he
him know
done that?
how worried I was and how distracting that was for me at work today.
Mm.
And once though, this is what this cat's like. I was actually looking for him when I still lived in Norwich, and I walked past one of the houses on the street opposite, and he was just sitting in the front window of their house.
Yeah, I mean that's cats, as I don't think they acknowledge anything really.
No, no,
Other than
he
the fact
doesn't.
that they
He,
want you to feed them, and once you've done that, really you can just clear off.
yeah, yeah, but he's back now. He's safe, back home, and he's very tired. And I forgive him because he's fluffy.
There we go. Clearly had a big day. Bless him.
Yes.
But we can't say anything bad about him because it's been Say Something Nice Day, and okay, that's not today, but it's a time for saying nice things and that. So tell us more about that, Shelley, because you've looked into Say Something Nice Day, and I'd never even heard of it.
Well, neither have I, because clearly I'm not a nice enough person to indulge. Or it's on the other hand that I don't need to be told to be nice because I'm so nice all of the time.
Well, I suppose maybe the test is, did you spend a day saying something nice and then go back to muttering prick under your breath at Tesco?
I mean, it was actually on the 1st of June, and it's always takes part on the 1st of June. And that was on Sunday. So I was on my own on Sunday. I did not speak to anybody apart from the cats. Oh no, hang on, that's not true. I had some shopping delivered and I said thank you. So I made a very small effort for say something nice day. But yeah, I think because I didn't really know it was happening, and then I found out it was actually happening on the day that it was happening on, so I couldn't really take part in the celebrations. And it's popped up on the site Awareness Days UK, so you get a full calendar of all the awareness days that are happening. I think there was also, when I looked at the calendar, there was also like a British Tomato Week or something.
And what does that entail?
Well, I think it's just for the joy and celebration of tomatoes because they all ripen at this time of year.
I see.
Anyway, sorry,
Well,
I did get a little bit distracted then because I was kind of buying time because I accidentally on my phone, instead of opening up this story that I'm covering, I'd accidentally opened up a frittata recipe and then I had a small panic. But it's here now. It's okay. So on Awareness Days UK, they kind of gave some advice on how you might want to celebrate. Well, take part, I suppose, rather than celebrate. And so they advised say something nice day through social media and digital platforms. And here are some of their suggestions. So share heartwarming stories or anecdotes about acts of kindness and the positive impact they've had on people's lives. And oh, I mean, I'm not sure how I feel about this. Create inspirational quote graphics.
I mean, I find them wonderfully mockable.
Some of them I find they do hit on that side of toxic positivity, which
Yeah.
is a whole other story in itself, isn't it? It's kind of, yeah, some of it I find is a bit, it's actually not very helpful advice. It's a bit demotivating. And then you host a virtual compliment challenge where participants can nominate friends or loved ones to share what they admire about them.
Well, I mean, this all sounds very nice. Was it just a case the X was just mildly less toxic than normal for a day?
um, can you remember when they had that whole be kind hashtag be kind
Yeah.
thing a few years ago? And I did just notice, I mean, I thought, yeah, that's a really good mantra to live by, really, isn't it? I mean, I always think being kind and having courage and things like that are quite good ways to sort of try and live your life. And I don't like it when people say, do you know what your problem is? You're too nice. Because I think, why are you trying to fix the nice person all the time?
Hmm.
But or anyway, attached to this,
I
I
think
think
that there is a thing to say that sometimes being kind isn't always being nice.
no,
It isn't nice to tell someone they've got food stuck between their teeth, for example, but it's kind.
that's a good point.
I mean, it's a shame, isn't it, that we feel we need a day for this, and particularly social media would feel it needs a day for this. But, Christ, if there's anywhere where it's needed, it's on social media. Let's move away from internet trolls because there is someone I would like to say something nice about, if I may. Oh, Shelley, your face looks so hopeful, right?
No, no, no. Well, I'm thinking, well, that's good because I've prepared my compliment for you and Stuart,
And Stuart
who's
hasn't
not
even, he's
here.
not even turned up
Yeah, he's he's
again.
gone from he's gone from Morocco to the Outer Hebrides. We don't know why. The man is a mystery.
The mystery to himself. Bless him.
I do keep wondering if he's had some sort of complex surgery that he's trying to keep secret from us, though.
He might have had his brows redone. We'll have to
Mm.
see.
I don't. He might come back a woman. Anyway, going from that, is it okay? Is now the time? Are
Why
you
not?
ready? Are you ready to feel the warm embrace of kindness?
I am very much. Thank you.
Okay, so this is to you and to Stuart, wherever you may be out there, whatever you may be doing, we are thinking of you.
I hate to think, honestly.
um, so Kim, you own some very fancy shirts that you wear well. And Stuart, I have seen you wear some really smart trousers over the years. I would like you both to know that I absolutely consider you more colleagues rather than friends.
Oh, thanks, Shelley.
You're so welcome. And you know what? That wasn't that hard. It
Uh,
wasn't that hard for me to put that little bit of effort in.
and you know that the beauty of that makes it that much easier for me in turn to say I prepared nothing uh, by way of a compliment. The person I did actually want to say something nice about is a guy called Kieran Gilliford. Are you familiar with his work?
No, but I'm looking it up now.
Then buckle up, Shelley, because I'm going to talk about a bionic glove that helps stroke recovery. No, it's not from Iron Man. It's from Iron Acton, where a 22-year-old design student, yes, he's built a bionic glove and it helps stroke survivors regain their grip strength and simultaneously made the rest of us realize how much we wasted our 20s. The device is called NeuroGrip. Um, Sounds like something Batman might have
Hmm.
got if he had a soft side, doesn't it? So invented by Kieran Gilliford. And he's showcasing his prototype this week at UWE Bristol's degree show. Let me just say, whilst most of us were barely holding on to our will to live in uni, this man has built a working exoskeleton for rehab. Not for making coffee, but for rehab. I mean, what have you done this week, Shelley? Did
Yeah,
anyone else
well,
feel personally attacked by how competent this lad actually is?
do you know what? Why bother? I don't know why I got up this morning.
I was quite impressed by just being up and ready for work at 9. Um,
But in his 20s
so,
as well, did you say?
yeah, 22.
22. Do you
22.
know what I was doing when I was 22?
I was probably either too drunk or too hungover to do very much at all. So anyway, how does this thing work? Okay, it's not one of those sci-fi contraptions where a button magically closes your hand like a car boot. Neurogrip actually picks up on faint electrical signals in your forearm, the ones that try to make your hand move, and it responds with motorized assistance, which means the wearer still has to try to move, just gets help finishing the action, and that's really important because in stroke rehab, that that's everything. That's what helps retrain the brain. So Kieran's glove supports the movement only when you've made the effort to initiate it, and that keeps the neural pathways active. So unlike other rehab devices that basically say, it's all right, don't bother moving, just sit there, watch your hand twitch like a puppet, this thing actually needs you to do something. So, I mean, look, I don't know if it's bad that the glove maybe has a better work ethic than either of us.
Well, we know what my work ethic is. We know how
You've
good I am
discussed
at
it in
my
the
job.
past, absolutely. So here's some figures for you. About 100,000 people a year have a stroke in the UK, roughly one every 5 minutes. For many of them, just gripping a mug again, that's a huge milestone. So Kieran's design would help people to train at home alongside physio and then recover faster without needing to trek to a clinic every session. And get this, he didn't just whip it up because he loves robotics. Kieran's grandfather had a stroke over a decade ago and it stayed with him. So this project wasn't just clever, it was personal, which officially I think makes it heartwarming and high tech. A bit like Wally, but useful. It's still a prototype for now. Kieran calls it a decent start for a 5-month project. And that's extremely humble for someone who just invented the closest thing we've got to a real life power glove that helps people
Mm. Yeah,
When
definitely.
I once spent 5 months trying to assemble a flat pack wardrobe, it's still listing dangerously to the left. So Kieran said he'd love to keep refining this in his spare time. So honestly, if anyone out there is listening and they know how to fund good ideas instead of apps that tell you what sort of bread you are based on your aura, please go to Kieran. So I want to say something nice about Kieran, and to enact into the idea that sometimes the future isn't made in Silicon Valley. It's made in your parents' garage by someone who actually gives a damn. Well, let's be nice to someone else now. Let's be nice to Jen, shall we?
Yeah, Jen, that good news girl, for
Mm.
anyone who's already heard of her, I just stumbled across an interview with her on BuzzFeed in my little journey for good news. And I think actually I have seen the odd video of hers pop up because obviously, I'm a very positive good news person.
I've
So
always thought of you
my
that
my algorithms
once.
are now very, very positive and full of good news.
Marvelous.
Um,
Tell us a bit about Jen. What is it? What does she do?
yeah, so what she does is she has got her own. I'm not sure if she started on Facebook or Instagram, but she just makes her own good news stories. Well, she doesn't make her own good news stories. She finds she just is so energetic. Like we find good news stories, but she's just making hers. No, she is.
Here's her own good news story. Um, she has an amazing 2.3 million followers,
Yeah, she
which I
is
think
like
we
she
would be lucky if we've got 2.3 listeners.
Yeah, she's like the Nottingham University version of Good News, and we're Bath.
Hold
So
that thought.
she had a little bit of a story, a little bit of a backstory, like as to why she started just trying to share good news with the rest of the world. And she started her little good news channel. The reason was that she was actually quite unwell. She was really sick for quite a while, and she was just basically isolated into her bedroom. As it was not really quite surprising to hear that that was having an impact on her mental health. And she says in her interview, I couldn't even remember the last time I'd smiled, and it seemed like absolutely nothing was good. Nothing good, sorry, was happening in the world, but I knew that couldn't be true. And so then she decided to intentionally look up something nice, and she found a story about hockey player Max. Oh, I don't know hockey players. I'm really sorry. Max
Right.
Pacchioretty. I should think that sounds right to me. So he saw a young fan drop their ice cream, and so he went and bought them a new ice cream. And so even though that was just a very small little heartwarming act of kindness, she decided to start just looking for things like that and sharing it. She's had some videos that have had just like sort of millions of views. She had one in particular about a dog who befriended a wild squirrel, and they became best friends, the dog and the squirrel. Yeah, it's all very, very wholesome.
I
So
thought dogs were man's best friend. Are they two-timing us with squirrels?
dogs,
Seeing
squirrel's best
squirrels
friend.
behind our back.
Dogs are so fickle, aren't they? But yeah, she said also in doing this though, she gets a lot of really nice feedback from people who follow her as well. So yeah, people even email her and just to say actually that what she's done has helped them, makes them feel better to listen to her story. So it's actually had a positive impact on other people's lives and their mental health. I think it's really nice that people are sort of reaching out though for those, they are reaching out for more positive stories rather
Absolutely.
than doom scrolling.
Yeah, I think it's why we started doing this, and we feel it's what the world needs more of. But I mean, Jen's doing an amazing thing. I mean, she's like a human dopamine hit, really, isn't she? If Mary
Yeah,
Poppins and TikTok had a child, it would be Jen.
yeah, she does. She does look like a very. She's got a very sort of kind face as well. I bet she just seems like she delivers it the good news probably very effectively. You know, she's not like us trying to sort of hold back cynicism. She's younger. She's got a fresher view of the world than we have. Do you ever find yourself doom scrolling?
um, Not hugely, no, to be honest. Because it's quite a while ago now that I decided to sort of turn away from bad news. I took myself predominantly off of social media and just tried to move away from all those sort of more negative and damaging influences because I think it was just I was finding it a bit overwhelming and a bit depressing.
Yeah, and I've noticed that as well. I don't ever really use Facebook very much at all now. And I switched all my notifications off from it as well because I found it very needy. If you weren't on Facebook every day, Facebook would be constantly asking you why you're not looking at something all the time. If I ever go onto it now, I'll find that I've got about five random friend requests from people I don't know. So they're clearly not real people. But yeah, it's just it seems a bit predatory sometimes on Facebook as well.
But the one it took to sending me, which is the strangest notification I think ever, is it would tell me that a friend had commented on a post that I hadn't seen.
Yeah.
Why would I care about that then?
Oh, what do you want? A round of applause? Do you want me
It's
to
commented on something
compliment
you
them?
don't look at.
Do you want me to
It's a little
contact
bit
them
like
and say
I used to
something?
work with this guy, nice guy, very into football, very into Manchester United specifically. Now I still occasionally watch. I used to watch a lot more football back then, but I've never particularly been a Manchester United fan. So if they'd been on the night before I get into work and they go, "Did you watch the game last night?" And I'd say, "No, I didn't." But he would proceed to continue as if I'd said yes, and then start discussing the match with me. And I feel Facebook is very similar in this thing of going, I'm not interested. Well, I'm still going to tell you about it
Yeah,
anyway, quite honest.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I seem to have less of a problem with Instagram because I think it's probably because I don't follow with Facebook. It does a lot of suggesting to you what other people follow.
Hmm.
Whereas with Instagram, it does a lot, it suggests to you what you might like because of things that you follow
Yeah.
instead.
It seems to be
So,
better at finding me things that would actually interest me. There's not quite so much absolutely
mm,
bizarre left field stuff on there. But
yeah, I
no,
also never
I
look at comments, never look at the comment
never go
section.
below the line that way.
So yeah, don't. It's
Absolutely.
yeah.
I mean, I do it primarily because more now Facebook is things that I'm interested in that I follow. For example, I follow Harlequins online, but I never look at the comments. It doesn't matter what the story is because I
Mm,
know that I'm only ever two or three comments away from someone being a bit of a dick.
mm.
You
Yeah, and it's
just
where they
don't
hide.
need it.
If someone's commented some, it's looking at the replies to some comments as well. And that's where it gets really nasty.
Yeah.
That's where it really whittles down to the real sort of, you know,
These are people who've just gone on looking
yeah,
for an argument.
yeah, they're the ones that actually live under a rock, aren't they? And they come out just to try and find someone to pick on.
Well, this isn't the sort of thing I think Jen would be talking about, quite frankly. We've done it again. We've gone down our little cynical hole. So thank God we have people like Jen just spreading all that's good in the world and proving people do want hope.
I
And
don't know. I thought
ideally in a 30-second video with pastel colours and lo-fi beats. Okay, let's move on and talk about some good news for people who enjoy fish, swimming, or not dying in a climate apocalypse,
woohoo.
which I hope is quite a few of us. The EU has just ratified the Global Ocean Treaty. It's a legally binding agreement to protect 30% of the world's high seas by 2030. Currently, we're at about 1.2%. That's not really a conservation effort, is it? That's an accidental success. It's like saying you're eating healthy because you had a lettuce once on a burger. Now, 115 countries have signed up for the treaty, but only 28 have actually ratified it, which means it's not legally enforced yet. We need 60. So we're nearly halfway there. That's great if your long-term plan for climate change involves crossing your fingers and recycling your humus tubs. The EU ratifying it is a big step, though, because Greenpeace, I mean, they're excited about it. They called the move welcome, so you can tell they're excited. What do you reckon, Shelley? Should we throw a party every time politicians do the absolute bare minimum?
I mean, should they not just be doing their job?
Well, that's what I think, but it doesn't stop some countries from dragging their feet. Can you guess who one of the more obvious holdouts might be in terms of not joining in and dragging their feet?
It wouldn't be quite a big country, would it?
No, actually, quite a small one.
Oh, it's not us, is it?
It is us. Yeah,
Oh,
we're still considering it.
yeah. Well, we're considering everything at the moment, aren't we?
Oh, well, no, we're considering anything. Anyway,
Yeah.
it's not just about marine life. This is about protecting ecosystems that literally keep the planet alive. And yet somehow our government is treating it like it's a WhatsApp invitation to a barbecue. Just get on, ratify it. What's the big deal? What are we waiting for? For the ocean to privatize itself?
So
Come
what? So
on.
they can then renationalize it again.
Absolutely. Something to justify their salaries. Meanwhile, Greenpeace is also calling for a global moratorium on deep sea mining. Because obviously, if something exists and we haven't exploited it yet, someone in a suit will get an itchy drill finger, won't they? Deep sea mining, that's basically digging holes at the bottom of the ocean in case there's something shiny down there.
This isn't like bottom
It's
trawling.
not like bottom
This is
trawling, no.
like bottom digging.
Yes. Yeah, it's still right down there on the base of the ocean, which is actually a really important place, and then just digging around with it. Really, in this case, it would be like a toddler with a spoon in the garden, but with much worse consequences for biodiversity. Anyway, let me get to the actual good news bit because I feel like we're
I
diversifying
was going to say, nowhere's safe, is it? You know, you think about how far down the bottom of
to
the
the
ocean is.
ocean. You'd think
Oh
it'd be quite
no,
all right, wouldn't
we're going to
it?
find a way to ruin it somehow.
There we are. Trawling it, digging into it. Look, there is some actual good news. This treaty, once it is ratified properly, it could mark one of the biggest wins for environmental protection in history. Legitimately, it could safeguard ecosystems, it could curb overfishing, it could stop humanity treating the ocean like an all-you-can-dump buffet. So, as always, progress is slow, and yeah, the UK is doing its best impersonation of a soggy speed bump, but still. This is a sign that international cooperation can work, that countries can put the planet before profit, and that occasionally humanity will do something that doesn't make dolphins weep. So, can we call that a win? Or is it more of a cautious, well, it's not on fire yet?
I think this could be. It's definitely a step in the right direction, isn't it?
I think.
I just got very distracted by what you said about dolphins because I was just thinking about you. You know, dolphins don't like people. They like to hide their sadness because they do all their crying in the sea. It's like the sort of thing that you might find in a fortune cookie.
I mean, it's making me tear up, but I fear for all the wrong reasons. I'd like now, if I may, to talk about some good news from the land of the deep fried Mars bar and aggressive weather systems. Scotland is proposing a law to make ecocide a criminal offence. Destroying the environment could soon land you in a Scottish jail, not just a slap on the wrist, real prison with metal bars and probably a roommate called Gaz who's very into planting seeds in you. So, who had Scotland leads the UK environmental justice on their 2025 bingo card? No one. Okay. So, under this new bit,
I
people.
feel like I can't say anything anymore. Like, I keep opening my mouth. It's like no, 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 no,
Don't you dare.
no, no.
So that under this new bill, people or more likely corporations with maybe very friendly logos but very unfriendly emissions could face up to 20 years in prison or unlimited fines if they cause widespread, long-term or irreversible environmental damage. That's refreshingly direct, isn't it? Considering most UK environmental policy is written in passive aggressive footnotes. So ecocide, that basically means killing nature on a massive scale. So oil spills, illegal deforestation, or accidentally deleting the Amazon rainforests. This law could make Scotland the first UK nation to criminalise ecocide. It put them well ahead of even the EU, who are still drafting similar rules to kick in by 2026. Meanwhile, the Pacific Island nations of Vanuatu, Samoa, and Fiji have already proposed making ecocide an international crime. Which I suppose, to be honest, when you live on a literal disappearing coastline, you haven't really got much time to wait for Brussels to agree on font size, have you? So Jojo Mehta, the CEO of Stop Ecocide International, called the bill a striking example of how national action can drive global change. And let's be honest, Scotland taking the lead on this is like your gran installing solar panels before the council even notices electricity bills exist. It's iconic stuff. There are critics, of course, because there's always critics, aren't there? Some say the definitions are too vague. Others claim existing laws already cover this. But if those laws were doing the job, we wouldn't be in a situation where rivers can set themselves on fire. Major managers can win sustainability awards for using paper straws in their executive lounges. I think too vague. That's a weird complaint, isn't it? When the alternative is, let's keep boiling the oceans until cod learn to walk.
Yeah, I don't know. I love Scotland. I think Scotland's great. I'm in some ways actually I'm not surprised that something like that came out of Scotland.
Now, Scotland actually have come up with some incredibly progressive stuff, and actually they normally get stopped by the English Parliament.
Yeah. But it's such a beautiful place though. It really is so beautiful there that there's a huge motivation to protect everything that you have. And I mean, I do really like I like the remoteness of lots of Scotland because you just don't get nowhere is remote in the south, is it?
Not really.
Everywhere has got like a Bovis home on it. If it was a meadow at one point, it will become a housing estate. It will have it will be earmarked for some sort of development, an industrial estate, a new, I don't know, a Hollywood Bowl, and you just can't. Everywhere is overcrowded, everywhere is busy, everywhere's oversubscribed. But you go up to Scotland, and there are just places that are just actually remote, and there's no one around, and the air is so fresh, and that's what air is supposed to smell like.
You are actually more than 5 minutes away from your nearest Greggs.
Yes, exactly.
No, it is mother, and the further north you go, just the more amazing it gets, really.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, this bill that they've got, I mean, it could really change things. It's got them the power to hold big polluters accountable. And more importantly, I think it sends a signal that environmental destruction it's not just a side effect of business as usual, it's a crime. Like fraud or insider trading or buying another North Sea oil license in 2025. So let's give it up for Scotland. They're bravely telling those billionaires, you break it, you buy it. And also, maybe you go to jail. I'd love to see it catch on across the UK. Whether Westminster will respond, I don't know. Or maybe they'll just put a new coal mine in Hampshire. We'll just have to wait and see. Okay, it's time, Shelley.
I'm so excited.
Our weekly chat segment. What the hell is going on at the University of Bath? Because honestly, chaos was a degree they'd had at first. So far, okay, we've had the Roomba research. Remember that? So they were trying to make robot vacuums, play with cats, groundbreaking stuff. And now Bath has really outdone itself by managing to hold a 3-hour physics exam in just 2 hours. Physics, that subject that already bends time, apparently now with live demonstrations. Does that count as a practical lesson in relativity? I don't.
I do get the irony there. Nice.
They,
Well done,
thank you.
University of Bath. You're super ironic.
Look at them go. They actually called it an administrative error. I think that's a bit generous. The best part of this, the university actually knew about it before the exam, but they said they couldn't extend this session due to subsequent room bookings. I mean, what did they have in there? A bake-off semi-final?
Oh, not
Anyway, to make
bookings.
up for it, they promise no student will be disadvantaged. Translation, we're going to curve the grade so hard they loop back in time to fix the error. But look, it's not all bad from because while they can't tell the time, they can build an eco-friendly football pitch. They've opened the UK's first fully recyclable 3G pitch made with biodegradable wood particles and a design so sustainable probably emits birdsong when you run on it. And Shelley, and they built fences around it to protect bats.
Oh,
Yeah, because it's nice to make sure Dracula can sleep in peace whilst you so saving the planet. So also in the are they okay category, Bath researchers have developed microbial fuel cells that literally generate electricity from soil. And you plug a battery into the mud and it powers a water filter.
it powers a Roomba.
Just to recap, okay, they've got Roombas doing experiments. They're harvesting electricity from dirt. They've built bat-safe football pitches, and they've got students doing advanced physics exams in a time slot normally reserved for brunch. I'm starting to think the University of Bath, they don't just teach science, they sort of live it.
Yeah, I mean, I think because I can see that they are top 10 in all UK league tables. So I'm not going to mention what university I went to. And they're actually in the top 10% of universities worldwide. So actually, I think, they can take a bit of stick then, really, can't they?
Well, I guess the question is, next week, will Bath invent a solar-powered dissertation, or will they lose a chemistry lab to an admin error? Place your bets now. We, University of Bath, we are watching. Let's finish on something utterly heartwarming and wonderful, shall we? Um, it's over to you, Shelley. Tell us, if you would, about the Dogstaval Festival.
This is so adorable. Oh no, where's it gone? Oh no, here it is.
Do you want me to give you an intro again, or should we just carry on?
I really, really have got to stop leaving recipes all over my No, I can't tell you about the dog festival, but I can tell you about lentil, carrot, and feta salad.
I mean, it's not quite as heartwarming.
It's very good for you, so it's positive.
That sounds hearty.
Okay, the dog festival. It's all right. Panic over. I
We've
mean,
got it.
I don't know.
I wasn't really panicking,
I think I could have managed to tell you about a dog festival without being able to see all the notes and bits and bobs on the
I
dog.
know, but we want to be accurate on this. We don't want to mislead anyone.
No. So in
So, like Glastonbury, but what with a few bucket hats and more people sniffing each other's butt.
well, actually, one of the organisers did say, oh, let me find their little quote. Glastonbury meets Crufts style dog festival.
I love it.
In the New Forest, which is a very very lovely part of the country. I do believe Chris Packham lives there. He's a good news person, Chris Packham. Apparently, someone called Noel Gallagher lives there as well.
Is he a good news person?
I don't know. I don't know. He was in a band or something.
I mean, he doesn't look back in anger, and I think that's a very positive way of looking at the world. So,
Hey.
um,
So the festival was called Dogstable. I really had to practice saying that because I really could not. I don't know why I struggled with saying that. I kept calling it Doggistable, Doggistable,
festival.
like I'm a malfunctioning android. But yeah, so it was organised in a way as a festival to bring poochers from all around to basically party together. But they had various events on at this festival, which included picnics, dog yoga, circus acts, and street performers. So there was plenty for doggy parents to see there as well. I do want to know if I wonder if they had a beer tent.
Well, they just lapped it up from bowls.
Yeah. Dogs like a pub though, don't they?
I
So
do. I
I
love it.
think a beer tent would work really well there. But with the one of the other themes though they had a sort of pop-up holiday resort theme. And the reason they did it was because over the summer period, beaches tend to ban dogs, so dogs can't go and run around in the sea and chase big sticks and things on the beach like they usually do. So they created their own beach at this festival, splash pools. And then to make it even better, they actually had a doggy diving board. So dogs it's just this story just gets better and better. But the thing that really
I love
was
it.
the thing that was just really just the cherry on the cake for me was the fact that they actually did an Ibiza themed beach, and they had a DJ, and they had a phone party.
It's brilliant. I mean, the only thing that makes me a bit sad about this story is knowing that these dogs had a better social life this weekend than I did.
I was just gutted because I didn't know about it. And I don't know if you have to have a dog to go. I think that's something that I would look into. But I do believe they've actually run this for the last few years. So I'm absolutely going to go next year. Luckily, my very, very good friend is a doggy mum, and I will be inviting her and borrowing her dogs.
That's a fabulous. I mean, won't your cats be annoyed by this?
Can you see cats appreciating a festival? Like, what would a cat festival be like?
Just lots and lots of bowls of food,
Lots of hissing.
lots of hissing, lots of fighting, and just plenty of places they can go and sleep.
That weird meow they do when they're really angry and in a fight, and it sounds like they're actually trying to say something. They're
Yeah.
like, wow, wow,
And
wow.
what's that weird thing they do when they see a bird? And it's almost like sounds like they're trying to mock the bird by making its noise.
Oh, ecking. It is.
Is
You
that called
can
ecking?
actually follow it. Yeah, I follow a page on Instagram called Eck, and it is just videos of cats going. "Ah, ah,
I mean, is the I don't know. Obviously, we don't know what's going on in the cat's mind. It either sounds to me like they think that that's going to attract the birds over because it's so similar to bird sound, in which case they're fooling no one, or they're just mocking the birds.
I think it's excitement.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, I think they're just really excited because one of my cats does it with the laser dot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so if I'm playing laser dot with him, he'll start ecking at, but only if I put it up the wall. Like I'll suddenly move it and run it long and put it up the wall and hold it there, and he'll just sit there staring at it and ecking at it.
Ooh.
Yeah, he can't control his excitement. Have you seen that other thing, cats? Have you seen Stink Face?
If I have, I've not been aware that's what I'm seeing.
Okay, yeah, look up Cat's Stink Face.
That's
It is just the funniest thing ever.
well, I'm
I
doing
don't
it
think
now because
dogs
I've
have an
got to.
equivalent. So
Oh no, I have seen this. Yeah, absolutely. Without knowing that's what it was. Yeah, when they smelt something that clearly smells bad and the stink face comes in. Yeah, I
Yeah.
do. I like
Yeah.
that. I love those little videos you got where a cat will go over and smell. Normally it's only his feet or something like that, and then the stink face comes out. Or even they smell themselves.
Oh yeah, I think mine tend to have found a patch where perhaps one of the other cats has sat, and or they've actually done it if they've sniffed one of the other one's bottoms.
How good did they think it was going to smell, really? Come on.
It's like, oh, that smells bad, smell that.
Yeah, well, I think that's probably it from us this week. You've been listening to Everything's Fine, probably. If you enjoyed the episode, or at least you didn't hate it, you can keep the good vibes going by liking, sharing, subscribing, or just shouting, listen to this podcast at strangers in the street. I mean, honestly, we're really not fussy. Leave us a review, unless it's bad, in which case do a nice thing and just bottle it like a Victorian chimney sweep with emotions. You can follow us wherever you get your podcasts. And if you're one of those people who still uses Facebook, ironically, we're probably there too. Thanks to our contributors, our stories, and of course to the University of Bath, without whom we wouldn't have nearly as much material or as many confused robots. Next week, we will be back with a very special episode linked to Men's Mental Health Week, hopefully with a special guest. So we hope you can join us for that. Who knows? Maybe Stu will. Until then, stay hopeful, stay hydrated, and remember, everything's fine, probably. Thank you, Shelley.
Thank you. Bye.